If someone had told me that at the age of 77, I would have to stay in a nursing home for 2 months, I would have laughed. I never thought that I would need to go there, at least not at this time. But life sometimes has a way of surprising us, making us learn important lessons when we least expect it. At first, I thought I was only going to the nursing home temporarily to rest and recover, but those 2 months changed the way I view life and what I thought I understood clearly. There, I met many people, some of whom had been there for years. Some were still visited by their families, but many were left all alone. This made me think a lot about how we live, about connection, and the choices we make in life. Some have found peace, but many feel regret. Through life stories and long nights of reflection, I realized that whether you are young or old, life is always full of challenges and lessons. Now, I will share 7 lessons that I believe everyone, young or old, needs to hear. Because no matter how young you are, one day you will grow old. And when that time comes, how will you live your life? First, I realized that loneliness is the worst disease that old age brings. You may think that a nursing home is just a place that provides healthcare services, but in reality, the greatest challenge is not physical problems, but loneliness. There are people who live here without anyone visiting them for months, even years. Their children are busy, their friends have passed away, and no matter how caring the staff is, they can never replace family love. The most painful thing about old age is realizing that the world keeps going without you. I wish I had spent more time building lasting relationships instead of just chasing work and money. That is the most important lesson I've learned. Meaningful relationships are what truly make life worth living. Second, health is the most precious thing that cannot be bought with money. I once met a successful man who owned a heap of property, luxury cars, and had traveled all over. However, now as his health has deteriorated, he cannot do anything without help. He cannot eat independently, cannot move around, and the wealth he had is now worthless when his body no longer obeys him. Money can bring many things, but it cannot buy back health. If I could go back, I would take better care of my body, exercise regularly, eat healthfully, and reduce stress. Because in the end, no matter how much money you have, if you're not healthy, you can't enjoy life. Third, I realized that material possessions ultimately lose their significance. In the past, I owned a house full of furniture, clothes, and decorative items that I had collected throughout my life. Now, I live in a small room with only a few simple things, and I don't remember any of those possessions. What we spend our whole lives accumulating will eventually become meaningless. What truly matters are the memories we've made and the people who have been with us. If I could go back, I would prioritize creating memorable moments rather than accumulating material goods. Fourth, independence is truly a precious gift. Imagine a life where you always make your own decisions, and then one day, you need someone else to do simple things for you, like dressing, eating, or using the bathroom. That is the reality for many people in this nursing home. If you can still move around, think clearly, and do everything on your own, don't take it for granted. Appreciate what you have, because when you lose your independence, you will realize it is the most valuable thing in life. Fifth, true happiness comes from simple things. I met an 85-year-old woman who was always smiling happily. When I asked her about the secret to happiness, she replied, "I don't think about what I've lost. I enjoy what I still have." This taught me that happiness is not about big things, but small moments. A pleasant conversation, a warm cup of tea, or the feeling of sunlight on your skin. When you stop searching for happiness in distant places, you will realize it has always been in the simple things. Sixth, I realized that forgiveness brings peace to oneself. During my time at the nursing home, I saw many people carrying grudges, from their children to friends, and even those who had passed away. What I noticed is that those who carried bitterness in their hearts were the ones who suffered the most. They didn't harm their enemies, but they themselves were the ones who endured the pain. A woman shared with me that she regretted not forgiving her sister while she was alive. Those words echoed in my mind. I understood that when you hold on to pain, only you are the one who suffers. Therefore, I choose to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because I deserve peace. Letting go of hatred has brought me a sense of freedom and relief, as if I had left behind heavy stones that I had been carrying for years. If there's someone in your life whom you need to forgive, do it today, for your own peace, not for them. Ultimately, when life ends, pride no longer matters. Peace is what counts. Seventh, I realized that every day is a gift. One morning, I woke up and heard that a resident had passed away in his sleep. He had sat down for dinner, shared joyful memories, and then left. This made me realize how fragile life is. No matter how healthy or careful we are, we cannot know what tomorrow will bring. We often spend too much time worrying about things that don't happen, regretting things that cannot be changed, and overlooking precious moments. We often say, "One day I'll do this," but that day will never come until it's too late. The greatest lesson I've learned is to live fully while you still can. Don't wait for the perfect moment to enjoy life, because the perfect moment doesn't exist. Do it now. Tell the people you love how important they are. Create memories instead of waiting. Treasure every day as if it were the last you'll live, because when your time comes, you won't regret what you did, but only regret the moments you missed. Though I only spent 2 months in the nursing home, I learned a big lesson. Life is not measured by the number of years we live, but by how we live in each moment. These moments are shaped not only by major events, but by the choices we make every day. In the nursing home, there are those who have no regrets because they lived fully, were loved, and felt at peace. But there are also those who wish they had lived differently, chosen another path. What I learned is that aging is not about how many years are left, but about how you live through each of those years. I am no longer afraid of old age, but I fear wasting time. If you are hearing these words, I want to remind you that no matter your age, don't wait until it's too late to realize the value of health, relationships, and your purpose in life. Because when all you have left are memories, you will wish you had created more. Life is short. Live meaningfully, love without hesitation, and never take any day for granted.